sparks is a composite of neurosis and nonsense held together by duct tape and sheer stubbornness. A widow, disabled and queer, they traverse the equally harsh and cathartic landscape where trauma and healing align to create stories that burrow into the hearts and minds of their readers. Rue, it's yours.
All right. Thank you. It's about 2/3 of a stripped down version of a short story in this collection. So I'm just going to get right to it so we have time. The cherry blossoms were early this year, and that too felt like a kick in the face. Many things felt unfair these days. The fact the seasons kept changing, the Earth kept turning on its axis, kept orbiting the sun, everything was the same. Normal. Fine. Juniper was not fine, and if they were honest, they didn't really want anyone else to be either. A soft chirp disrupted their brooding. A pigeon had landed a few feet away, twisting its head back and forth, focusing one eye and then the other at Juniper with uncharacteristic intelligence. No, Juniper snapped at Smarty McBirdson. He cooed in reply, taking a few stuttered steps forward in the typical pigeon shuffle. Juniper lifted the book further up. But Smarty Pants wasn't deterred. He jumped onto the edge of the book, cooing gently and taking a gentle nip at their bangs. No, you stupid bird, Juniper grumbled. Smarty Pants only tilted its head, then offered its leg in apology. A slip of paper was tied to it in a bow with frayed ribbon. Juniper shut their book with unnecessary force. Find someone else, they said, tucking the book into their bag. Prey on some other lost soul. This one is done. Juniper hated the gimmicky entertainers, their work hired for company-wide parties. Jugglers, balloon animals, caricatures, they were always cheesy, but it wasn't until this party that they felt betrayed by one. A fortune teller, really? They managed to avoid that corner of the lounge for hours until a gaggle of coworkers refused to take no for an answer. They all but physically pushed them to that corner of the room, full of laughter and alcohol. When it was Juniper's turn, they didn't try to hide their discontent as they sized each other up. Two predators debating which weakness to strike upon first. The fortune teller's disposition quickly transformed from wistful to severe disappointment in her gaze. You have refused the call, was her greeting, and Juniper at least admired that she wouldn't mince words. I'm not refusing, I'm ignoring. I won't be a part of this. There is no ignoring destiny, Misfortune Face Cranky Pants said. It will find you whether you are willing to see its face or not. If that made something twist in Juniper's chest, they could always blame it on the alcohol and over-seasoned lasagna. So, do you do the company parties a lot, or is this just for me? They feigned disinterest, even though their fingers twisted around themselves under the tacky tablecloth. We have to make money to live somehow. I have no qualms about a bit of theater to do so. She stroked the cheap plastic crystal ball in front of her. And you are deflecting. I am quite good at that, they shrugged, taking perverse pleasure as the fortune teller's expression twisted into annoyance. One of the best. So you are, Misfortune Face muttered. It would have been unnoticeable under her breath, but in times like this, the atmosphere took on this sonorous quality that made everything feel like it was echoing between your ears. At least let me share your fortune, even if you refuse to hear the words. I don't think I'm getting away from this table otherwise, am I? Afraid not, she cooed with faint sincerity. Then the performance began. Juniper had to give it to Cranky Pants. She was quite good at her job, at least her actual job. The one where she spread prophecies like seeds that would sprout when the soil was just right. That wasn't terribly entertaining at company parties, though. She really needs to get a better side job, they thought. As she spoke, the flaps of the tacky drapery lifted and swirled, lights flickering as her crystal ball lit up like a prism, casting rainbows along the table and the face of onlookers. At the first light of Easter Monarch, an evil force will sow betrayal and trickery across the land. Only one who can speak divine truth can right this wrong and sunder the dark forces below. You, who survived the barren to bring beauty, you will bring protection and purification to this world. You have only to choose. As the lights and wind dim, Fortune Face leaned over the now dull crystal ball, huffing. Juniper brought up their hands for a couple slow claps. Yeah, lovely. Great performance. Miss Fortune Face glared, but Juniper wasn't done. You know, you really would do well acting if you got more experience under your belt. Maybe try community theater? Everyone starts somewhere. Then an exaggerated pause. You know you just described April Fool's Day, right? Cranky Pants sighed through her panting. They cannot say I didn't try. This will be your third refusal, the black cat drawled from its perch on the fence. You know well the significance of 3 and such things. Oh, good, a black cat. I would have thought Smarty Birdson would have met your animal quota, but I suppose what they say is true. Nothing is original anymore, so why try? The cat was uninterested in Juniper's rambling. He made a few cursory licks of his paws. I'm well aware of the rule of 3, they continued, which means this is the last time I'll have to deal with all of you. The cat just blinked lazily at them, dull and content, basking in the afternoon sun. Hardly a herald of prophecy, are you? Do they usually look so bored? I am confident, the cat drawled out between content purrs. You will accept the call, and that I am sure of. That is how these stories go. The memory came unbidden then. An exuberant smile, missing the front tooth, but swallowed in youth and innocence that had been infectious, full of laughter and curiosity and joy, and stories don't always go the way we planned. Or want, they whispered, but didn't doubt the feline herd, or even how they should. No, I don't think life works like stories, and I'm done trying to live in one. Impatient at the cat's indifference, Juniper didn't spare the herald a second glance before walking past. Sorry, Sir Pushy Pussfoot, but I'm not going on any epic quest today. If that had been it, maybe things would have turned out differently in the long run. And that, not the end of the story, but that's as far as I'm going.